So one thing I think we have to start differentiating, and something I've started to do in my own content, there's not one LGBT community. As we saw in the last election, there's not one Black voter, there's not one Hispanic voter, there's not one Asian voter, right? The LGBT community is not monolithic. In fact, when I see folks that support men and women's sports or the transing of children, and I say I'm against that, they tell me I'm turning on my community. No, if you believe in those things, if that radical ideology is what you believe, that's not my community. So when they say LGBT support for President Trump may have dipped a little bit in this last election, I'm not really sure because he has the support of most normal gays that I talk to. And most gay people are tired of being lumped in with the non binary LGBTQIAR2D2 nonsense. We just want common sense. We have equal rights. We're tired of constantly playing the victim card like some folks out there still want to do. So I think President Trump has that support of normal working class Americans, but those radicals, of course, they're going to support the left because they want to even pay for, inmates to have transgender surgeries. I think when you see the mainstream LGBTQ cohort, you see these freaky people going down Fifth Avenue. They might be naked, they look mentally ill, they have a lot of sacrilegious imagery. That's not ever something I'm going to want to be a part of. In fact, the gay rights movement for decades was all about gay marriage. We want equality, right? So in 2015, you got the Supreme Court of Obergefell decision. Gay marriage became law of the land. But a lot of these nonprofits and these folks have to continue playing the victim card to keep on fundraising. So most of us, we moved on. I'm a grown ass man. I'm very busy. I have a full-time job. I'm living my life. I don't need to constantly feel like I'm a part of this LGBTQ community and go out and wave a flag on Fifth Avenue as naked non-binary people come traipsing down the street. Well, it's interesting because Gavin Newsom really has no identity. I mean, Gavin Newsom is just a greasy snake oil salesman. He's really trying to posit himself as the anti-Trump. I'm the leader of the resistance. I'm going to lead the resistance against Trump, against the Republicans, against MAGA going into 2028. I imagine Gavin Newsom will crash and burn because he has really poor judgment, right? He shut down his state and then he got photographed at French Laundry, a Michelin star restaurant, right? People were overtaking freeways in Los Angeles and burning cars. Where was he? He was at a Napa Valley fundraiser sipping wine and cavorting with wealthy celebrities. He'd rather hang out and have dinner with Alex Soros than show up for his own constituents, the working class Americans in this country. So I'm not too worried about Gavin Newsom. He did go on Charlie Kirk's podcast and say he thought it was unfair to have men and women's sports, but he's since reversed. I imagine the powers that be, whoever Gavin Newsom answers to, his Democrat elite donors, have told him, no, you have to keep pushing gender ideology, trans ideology. So that's Gavin Newsom. As for me personally, I've never supported men and women's sports for years and years and years. I've always thought it's insane. I might be gay. I'm not brain dead. Don't